everybody, how are you? It is Sunday the 29th. Sunday the 29th of September today. Oh, James, you're a bit wet, aren't you? It's raining. It's raining. I'm down in my she shed. If you're new here, my name is Caroline. And today I'm doing a requested video. Yeah, I'm tired. So the only thing that I don't normally think about anything that I'm going to say. What I'm going to say, sorry, I've got to put my chair up a little bit without getting out because I'm too lazy. We had Jack, our grandson, overnight to sleep. So I haven't filmed since Thursday. I think on Thursday. Is it Thursday that I went out? The last time I filmed? Because on Friday I had to get all the food ready for today because we had Jack yesterday, overnight today. That's my grandson. My grandson is 1. And today we were having Sunday lunch at ours, and we had roast lamb, all the trimmings, and homemade apple crumble for pudding. And I am stuffed and I am tired. Jack has gone home with his mummies and my mother-in-law has gone home. And it is 4 o'clock, well, just after. And I thought, I didn't think I was going to get to film today, but I thought I better film because I do have quite a busy week. So we better film today, haven't we? So this is my James. He is the Gucci sculpt. He is wearing a baby wear that we got in the big bag of clothes from Auntie Sarah. Can you guys remember this? It says good night on it, and it's too big around his neck, but we don't mind. He's very floppy, so that's why his neck is like that. He's very floppy. Oh, I don't believe you have a t-shirt on, mate. Oh, well, never mind. I'm not going back up now. It's pouring. It's raining. It's pouring. The old man is snoring. He went to bed. He bumped his head. He couldn't get up in the morning. We've been singing nursery rhymes and things with Jack, and he slept really well. Oh, you don't even have a nappy on. He slept really well though. He slept. He had a busy afternoon. We went over at lunchtime. He had a busy afternoon then, and so I think me and him went to bed at 5:30. Like, he needs to wind down before he goes to sleep. And then he eventually went to sleep, and he woke up this morning he was awake stirring at 5, woke at 6 for a bottle, and we didn't get up properly until about 8:30. I don't think he's very well, and so he wasn't like really keen on getting up. He just wanted a bottle and just to cuddle, snuggle, and so we did that, and then he didn't really want any breakfast either. And then we got up anyway. We had to get up because we had to put the lamb and all the food on. So then we just had an eventful day. But I made sure that on Friday I prepped everything. You know, I chopped all of the parsnips. I peeled the onions. I peeled and chopped up the potatoes. We picked and chopped the green beans. So I'm going to put, and I know I'm such a bad mummy, but I'm going to put James on this set outfit that I bought for £4 at the doll show. So if you haven't seen the doll show, I will link that in the description. If you haven't seen the video of this clothing, if I remember, I will link it in the description. In fact, I will write it on this sheet of paper. What video? See, I've forgotten already. Videos. Pen's run out. There you go. Videos. Doll show. Haul. And boys' clothes haul. So always look in the description of the video, and then you can see anything else that I've added. So I'm going to put James in this one with it's it's a darker red than it's showing up on the screen, and grey, and it's got the little train on it, and it looks like it's a top, a shirt and a pair of trousers, but it is literally all one set. And then I'm going to put him in my pram that has the scene, and I think I might take that one up the house, but he doesn't have a nappy on. Oh God, I'm such a bad reborn mummy. Oh my God, look at his little douche. There he is. He's so cute. He was reborned by Amy, who is on Instagram, the Crazy Doll Woman, who redid my Frankie for me. And next week I will be taking Timothy to the doll show to meet Amy, and he'll be going on with Amy on holiday for a spa trip with Amy. And then I should be picking him up again in November when I go up that way to see my stepson. So talking about the doll show, I had a few people who have said, I'm going to my first doll show. Any tips? Any things that I should be aware of? Any things that I should be doing? And those sort of questions. So I'm going to answer. So what I did was I went on to the doll show on Facebook and asked the question, what is doll show etiquette? So I'm going to read you out the replies that I got so you can make some informed decisions yourself. And if you think that I've missed anything, or you want to ask a question about something else, just put it in the comments and somebody will answer you, or I will. And if I get enough questions, I might just do another video. So yeah, I asked questions about doll show etiquette, and I had the person who set up the doll show, who started Discover Dolls and set up the doll show, Cathy Read. She answered. Ruth Annette, she also put a bit in, but then lots of other people. So visitors and vendors gave lots of comments. So here we go. They're not in any order. The only order they are in is the order that I read them off of the my Facebook post in the doll show. And so it says, never ever promote your own business. Now I think how many did I made a note of 25 things, but then I've given Ruth Annette her own points, and Cathy, I'm going to finish with Cathy's own points. Although the start of this is also some of Cathy's points, but she'd obviously been thinking about it and reading them, and then had put in another bit. So thank you for that, Cathy. And thank you to everybody who contributed. So never ever promote your own business. You cannot go to a doll show and promote your own business if you're not a vendor. I mean, that's just so wrong, isn't it? Never ever offer customs unless you're a vendor. So I don't know, some of these are just, to me, are just like politeness. And I mean, I'm not an artist anyway, so yeah, never ever promote your own business, and never ever offer customs unless you're a vendor. So don't be sitting out in the waiting area, or where you have coffee and that, and be like promoting your own business. so rude. Don't stand and chat blocking vendors, stalls or doors. Now I have to say that a few of us were guilty of that, me included, when we were at the Bristol show, because it was so packed in that one room that we had. It was really packed. It was really busy. We were squished, and we did, because I think it's because this time they didn't give us a load of chairs like they did before so you went into the hotel, And then you went into like this big holding area, this big, like where they had an extra bar there, but it was shut. So if they have a big event, I guess they have a bar there. And then they had the room where we had the show. In that big room where they have the bar that was closed off, last time they had chairs and that there. This time they didn't. And that's where we sat last time and had chats with each other. Well, we didn't do that this time. It's like when you see somebody like, oh, hi. So I'm really sorry. I know that I failed that and I did block the doorway. And so I do apologise, but I did. And I'm not laughing and being, trying to be cocky about it. I'm just like, yeah, actually I did, without even like thinking. I mean, when people were coming in or going out, they were like, yeah, sorry. But I was still stood there talking to people. Ask before picking anything up. So, I mean, that's just politeness. If you want to see something, I always ask. I always say, can I? And the vendors will say, do you want a cuddle? Have a cuddle. Or if I want to look at the clothing or something, it says, all right, if I have a look. Usually mine is. It's all right if I film. You all right there, mate? Yeah. All right. You're so cute. I'm going to put you in the pram in a sec, but I'm going to put you in this. This fits in really nice, actually. I can't remember which stall I got it off of. But it feels nice and cuddly. Never touch a collector's doll without asking. So there was a few comments about people who bring in their prams and that. People just like putting their hands in and touching them. Just because to you it's a doll doesn't mean you can touch. Doesn't mean you can put your hands all over it. Our hands emit oils and they will go on, on the reborns. If you want to touch your own reborns, well, that's fine, isn't it? Of course it is. Of course you do that. And if if we ask for cuddles and that's what you should do. You shouldn't just put your hands in and touch. I mean, people do that with real children, don't they? They go like, oh, was it a boy or a girl? And they like start putting their hands in there. Don't do it. It's rude. It's rude. And it's so unpolite. Don't bring fakes or counterfeits into the show. Goes without saying. You shouldn't even have to say this. From the doll show, we do not support fakes and counterfeits. We have our artists. Imagine Ruth Annette's there, or Cassie Brace is there, and you bring in a copy of one of Cassie Brace's babies, and she is there, and she knows that somebody has copied her work. You might not be an artist, but I'm sure if you've got a baby and somebody wants their baby painted exactly like yours, you might not like that. You might not like that. To me, that's the same sort of thing. If you want to buy counterfeits, if you want to put your money there, that's up to you. If you want to buy fakes, that's up to you. But I support the artists, the original sculptors. Just because somebody can copy something doesn't make it right. And that goes with things like paintings, Lego. So my middle daughter collects Lego. There is no way she would buy fake Lego. Just because it's not the same. And to anybody who's telling me that a fake kit, counterfeit kit, is the same as the original, you are so mistaken. You really are mistaken. Somebody had, she put them on her Instagram page, that without knowing, a person had purchased a fake, and you could tell side by side it was a fake. I know that there's somebody else in this community who's really doesn't care and will paint them and will purchase them, but we don't bring them into the show. It's just so wrong. I understand the money situation. I understand that. But it's, for me, it's the inferiority of it. Because, sorry, I switched you off. Because when you're buying something that is counterfeit, it is not going through the same controls as the authentic item. And I have seen some counterfeits, and let me tell you, they're just inferior. Yeah, well, that's my, and I've spoken about fakes and counterfeits before. If a vendor has set up their stall, so this is even for other vendors, if a vendor has set up their stall and then they go and have their breakfast, don't go and touch their stall. This has happened. So you should just all be looking out for each other's stall rather than going and touching somebody's stall, moving stuff. So if a vendor has set up their stall and then they leave and go for breakfast, don't touch their stall. Basically, you know, a lot of it was be mindful of others. If you see somebody that looks like they're on their own, you know, you could just smile and say hi. You know, some people, I mean, at my very first show at Peterborough, which is the biggest show, was on my own, and I went for the 2-day event, and it was overwhelming, but I really wanted to be there, and yeah, and it felt great. But if you see somebody that is on their own, just smile, just say hi, or I like your baby, or what have you called your baby? Just be nice. Just be nice. It is a big show. People can feel overwhelmed. So if you feel overwhelmed at the show, you feel a bit funny, you feel like you need to sit down, just tell one of the vendors. They might say, come and sit beside me for a minute, or we'll just get Cathy and you know, we'll sit you by the door. Come and sit over by the door. There is always someone. We are friendly, honestly. We are a friendly bunch. So it is really essential that you enjoy it and that you have a giggle. All right, just don't take everything so serious. Just enjoy it. Just really, really enjoy it. Don't take too much too serious. But equally be respectful. Don't talk about other artists within other artists' earshot. So if there's a particular artist whose work, whatever, you're not keen on, it's not a good idea to tell another artist, or to even say that when the artist can actually hear what you say. I mean, it's not about being, and that's not about being two-faced. That's by having some self-awareness, having some awareness of how, or empathy about how somebody would feel. You know, they've worked really, really hard on their reborn, and it might not be for you. Well, that's fine. It cannot be for you, but you don't have to, like, you know, badmouth them, moan about their work to other people. Because at the end of the day, all the artists, they all know each other, and they all chat, and they all talk. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. All right. There is another bit about that, I think, somewhere. Yeah, Ruth Arnetta said that, but I'll talk about that then at the end. We do have wheelchair users, and we have a lot of people bringing their prams in, because you can buy a pram pass, but we are only allowed a certain number of prams in. So, and I do bring a pram. Well, I'm going to a doll show. I want to bring somebody with me, and I usually want to take somebody home. And I want somewhere where I can put my goodies. But more, and even more than that, is, you all know, I have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, and when I'm at the shows, my adrenaline takes over and I get hyper, and I am hyper, and I go down really quickly. I flake quickly. So I do have a pram as well. Some people were saying don't bring double prams. You can't say that. If somebody's bought a pram pass, they can bring what they like, because they've paid for the privilege. And a double pram is the same size as some people with their big, massive prams, and they like to bring them. So they like to have their babies in them and show them to everybody. This is a mocktail. It's okay. It's a Schweppes orangey one, I think. Well, it looks orange, doesn't it? I think that's what it is. Oh, my eldest daughter, when she brought them, I was like, oh, you brought us some drinks. She said they're mocktails. I was like, damn. I'll have to have some sherry later. I haven't had any sherry yet. So, yeah, so people bring wheelchairs and they bring prams. If somebody's in a wheelchair, it says, please don't push in. Don't actually move people in wheelchairs out the way. Can you imagine that? You're in a wheelchair and somebody moves you out of the way. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing because I think that is like amusing. I'm laughing. Yeah, I think it's flipping. Probably laughing is the wrong thing. Well, it is the wrong thing, Caroline. But that's the way I deal things. That's my personality. It's like incredulous laughing, I think. It's like, how the hell? How dare somebody? I can't believe that when I read that you're in a wheelchair and somebody has the audacity to move you out the way. And somebody else has put leaning over. Please don't lean over people in the wheelchairs. Please don't lean over people who are using walking aids. Don't elbow them out the way. Oh my gosh, are we really like this at a doll show? Come on. Come on, it's only a doll show. It's not life or death. So be kind to people. You know, if you see something on that table and there's a wheelchair in the way, I wouldn't push a wheelchair out of the way to get to it. Be like, well, if they buy it, they buy it. I'm sure I'll see something else around the corner, around the next 10, 15, 20 tables. Peterborough is massive. I cannot believe, and I'm really sorry to wheelchair users that you had to write that, because that's just it was really, I couldn't believe, it was incredulous to me that somebody actually put, please do not move wheelchairs. Please do not move my wheelchair out the way. Yeah, no pushing, just ask. Excuse me, goes, just say excuse me, which I do, because excuse me, can I just get there? Or excuse me, sorry, can I just get by? That's what we do. Smile, be pleasant, and say thank you. I can't believe that some people have to write these things down. Say thank you. Somebody did don't bring double prams. Well, I've already spoke about that. Another one's watch your children. We do have a lot of children come, and it's really good to see that. It's really good. But somebody's put, please watch your children, because they do touch things. We do like to, when we go to the store. I'm the same when I go shopping and out. I like to touch everything, and I'm feeling for what the fabric is like. I'm getting a better look at it, thinking about it. But I know at the shows, I always ask if I want to touch anything. I don't want to go to Asda. Who am I going to ask in Asda? Excuse me, can I touch that t-shirt? So seriously, if you're bringing your children, just be aware of them. Just ask them not to touch anything, but to enjoy themselves all the same. Also, don't be afraid to ask if there are payment plans. So if you do see babies that you like, and you don't have enough funds, just say, would you do a payment plan? Let me tell you, most people would do a payment plan with a bit of a deposit, maybe without a deposit. I don't know. I've always said, if I leave a deposit, can I pay that, send you the rest later, or something like that, if I've needed to. And that's fine. I have even, when I bought Molly, I said to Susan, I really, really love her. Could you please just give me half an hour? Because Susan was in the first room, which is a small room, and then you've got the small room, then you go into like the bigger bit, then you got the massive room, and then you got a little small room. So it's quite a lot of rooms. And I said, can you please just give me half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, and I'll be back, and I'll let you know for sure. And in the end, she had to come and find me. She said, I've got somebody else that's interested. If you want her, you can have her, but, and I'm like, yeah, because, the show is open. Fair enough. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll have her. One eye season. So I got Molly. That's how I got Molly. So even do that. Just say, but then you must go back and say, I mean, Susan came to find me because I didn't carry a watch. I don't even know if I'd gone past my time. I probably had if Susan had come and find me. But if you do that, please just make sure you go back if they're very kind enough to hang on. Drinks. So be careful if you're bringing a drink in. A lot of people have said that, because it is packed. And so you don't want to knock somebody with your drink. Say hello to people. Smile and say hello. Because if you're talking to somebody online, which I find as well, you're talking to somebody online, you don't know what everybody looks like. You all know what I look like because I'm sat here and I get people who say hello to me at the shows, and I have no idea who you are because your little avatar person is not you usually. It could be just a letter like a J or a P, but you all know me, and it is quite daunting for me, but also equally it's daunting for people like on Facebook and that who you talk to. You know their name and you talk to them, but you're a bit shy about talking to them in real life. But you can do it. Just say hello. And if that's making you nervous, some people have bought badges with their names on, and if that's that might be something you might like to do. I don't bother because everybody can see me. I've been going over 10 years now, so I think people know who I am. Yeah, another one. So I think we talked, don't cause a scene. So if there's some drama going on, at the end of the day, it's a lot of women all together in one space. But a lot of things happen outside, on the outside of the doll show. And then when you get to the doll show, you're talking about it with other people and sharing information and all that. Just don't do it. Don't cause a scene. Just take it away. If you've got something to say to somebody, if you're having, a ding dong with somebody, take it outside, take it elsewhere. The doll show is not the place for it. The doll show is the place to go and enjoy the babies and have fun and meet all the people. And that's the bit I love. In fact, I haven't had anything negative. I've never, in all the 10 years, another thing I don't do is I don't go on all the other REBORN pages. I just don't. And I've always been kind of like that. I just don't really get involved in anything else. I'm not very good at responding to messages or emails, as my regular viewers know. And so I don't get involved. I can't be doing with it. I'd rather sit here and watch me crime and make me minis. So, and the last thing I want to generally put on here is don't ask a visitor if they will sell you their REBORN. So if I'm there with James, don't come up to me and say, would you sell me James? Right? Because I will say, no way. And I will think you're joking. But apparently it has happened, and it happened to somebody, and it was more than once she got asked. I've got some birds out there. It was more than once she got asked. Well, they're after the fat. I made some fat balls, and I put one out the other day, so they're feeding on it. Wow, that's great. Got some tits out there. Wow. One. They're all in a cute. Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. And then they're waiting in a tree. It's really clever because they just wait their turn. It is really. Oh, a little chaffinch. Little chaffinch waiting their turn, look. Oh, that's so blooming cute. Yeah, anyway, sorry about that. I got the bird feeder just outside there. Yeah, don't ask a visitor. I can't believe that. I would never ever ask somebody. I remember that I was gonna buy one, I think it was last year. I was gonna buy one at the show, and when I went back to look, she'd gone, and one of the girls that I know and I've talked to before, I saw her and I said, "Oh, you were?" She was like, "Yes." And I said, "So it's could probably be me." I said, "Well," I said, "I was going to get her." I said, "I went back to get her and she'd gone." And I said, "So you're a new mummy?" And I said, "Well," I said, it must have been this time last year." And I said, if you ever want to sell her, I'll buy her." So I just broke one of the rules again there. Don't ask. But I was like, do you know what I mean? Not sell me your baby now. And anyway, funny thing is, she messaged me that night, and she did. Couldn't bond with her, so I bought her. So funny. It's so funny that I'm like thinking, oh yeah, I blocked the doorway. Look, I did say, do you want to sell? If you ever want to sell her, let me know. Oh dear. It kind of just goes to show, and that we're human, and I guess it's how you go about it, isn't it? The lady that had commented that "don't ask a visitor" actually said that she felt bullied because the lady who'd asked her to sell her doll had then brought other people over to ask her as well. Like, it was ended up being a few people that were asking her, and she felt a bit intimidated, I think. So what do you think about that then, James? Hey, so, well, that's my mum. That's my mum. Well, look, it sounds like I've only broken 2 out of the 25 rules. That's not too bad. Sorry, Cathy. Okay, so then we've got Ruth Annette. And Ruth's put, "Give Ruth a hug, but not Abby." So no hugs for Abby Annette. Buy Ruth the pint of cider after 3 p.m. I wonder if Ruth realised that this was going to come on video. That's another thing, isn't it? Never assume at a public event that what you're talking about is going to be private. Never assume that, okay? Have cuddles. Ruth's put, have cuddles with her babies. Don't bitch about other vendors. Do vendors. We talked about that, but basically have fun. And that's really what it is about, isn't it? It's having fun. Cathy. And I've ended with Cathy because Cathy set up the Discover Dolls show. Discover Dolls. She set up the shows. So I've ended with her. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Absolutely don't be afraid to talk to people. We are a nice bunch. I don't know if I'm making it sound like we're not. We're a crazy bunch. No, I shouldn't say that. All right, I'm the crazy one. I know that I'm crazy. Treat yourself. Of course. Thank you, Cathy. I'll take that little note. When Russ says to me, "So, did you buy one?" Of course I did. Cathy told me to treat myself. Enjoy the variety. Yes, there is all sorts at the doll show. All sorts of reborns. It's really rare to see 2 sculpts painted the same way. It's amazing. The artistry is amazing. As you all know from me sharing years and years of walking the floor of the doll show. Compliment vendors on their work and their stands. So, you know, they do put a lot of work into this for the event for us to enjoy. Of course, they are there to sell, of course. But to get somebody to buy, you have to get them excited to come to you. Isn't that right? Yeah. So they do take a lot of time and a lot of effort in getting their babies finished, getting their stools done. smiling and welcoming you to the show, wishing you have a good show. Don't be embarrassed if you pick up a baby. Well, always ask first, remember that. And if they say you can have a cuddle, I usually say no, because there is Sue Terry's stall usually has a lot of sleeping babies, very rarely any awake ones. And whilst I do love the look of them, I don't have a cuddle because I'm not usually looking for sleeping babies, as you all know. But who knows this time? She does have nice babies, that's for sure. She really does have nice babies. It's Cathy Brace's mum. So that's why she always has a lot of Cassie's, obviously, sculpts. But she also does other kits as well. But she had a Sailor Rose, and I had a Sailor Rose a few years ago. When I went to the show at Bristol, she had a Sailor Rose there that was lovely. I could have easily bought another Sailor Rose off of her. But my aim is to get a 3 to 6 month one. Yeah, so compliment the vendors on their work and the stands. And if you don't like a baby, not if you don't like a baby, if you pick one up, don't be afraid to say no. Don't feel you're pressured to buy it just because you pick it up, because the vendors know. The vendors want you to cuddle them. They know that we want them to feel right. There's a little thrush down there having a drink. Aww, so cute. Oh, look at that. Little thrush there having a drink. Oh God, I love it. Yeah. And then give feedback. It isn't rude unless you are. Cathy's put that. That's the last thing that was like on the list. The list is in no order. Okay, so it's not like 10 things to do at the doll show, 10 doll show etiquettes you must stick to. Just listen to what people have said. I've taken that from comments from the doll show, from my post on the doll show, and so that's just all the comments that were on there that I've just taken off and was making into a video. And it's good. Just go and enjoy yourself. I met a lady at Bristol. She was there. It was her first show. She was lovely. She had a lovely little girl, and so I sat and talked to her for a while. Then when I went to Basildon, I was sat talking with Southampton. I was sat talking to a lady who was there. That was her first show, and she had brought her granddaughter a baby, and I was talking to her. And I think the shows are a big eye-opener to lots of first-time people, because you realise that there are a lot of people like you that like these babies. Because for some reason, people think that we should not be playing with dolls when we are grown women. So it's nice to go. I loved it when I first went, and I just met people that were like me. When first time I went, we had a baby shower. Then Cathy stopped the baby showers for a while, but we had a baby shower, and I knew nobody. But these ladies just said, "Do you want to come and sit with us?" And they were lovely. And I think they actually moved abroad. I think I saw in the following doll show, but then after that they moved. I'm sure the lady moved abroad. But she had one, and he had like a Mohican. But they were so kind, so lovely, and it was so nice. And sometimes you've just got to like go a little bit out your comfort zone, haven't you? And just put yourself out there, and you will draw the right people to you. If you put yourself out there, you will draw the right people to you. You just be aware. I mean, I've come across some people that I've not dealt with again, and on YouTube and on other people's YouTubes as well. and through, you know, the Reborn community, if you like. And it is a community, but like in any community, you get all sorts of groups of people. So you might not fit into that particular group over there. Well, that's fine, isn't it? You'll fit into the group that's over here. So you will find your group. You will find your group of people. Just make sure you're happy in that group. And I am. And just by having a group doesn't mean you have to have a massive amount of people in your group. Not in your group. And you don't need to, what I mean is you don't need to have like hundreds of people on your Facebook page, you know. I think I've only got about 100 people on my personal Facebook page. And I've stripped down a few. Oh, on Reborn Adventures, which is the page that I set up with my friend Amy years ago. We have been through there and deleted. I've been through there because Amy's left now. I've been through there and deleted. I run it now with Sheena. But I've deleted a lot of people off there. People that might have joined many, I think it was 8 years ago I set that up. People that may have joined them but have never, haven't interacted or anything for many years. And there's just, you know, it's just no point. I just want people that you can't always meet the people that you want to talk to. So, you know, sometimes the people that, you know, live miles and miles away, and you know that you're never going to be able to meet them in person, but they kind of feel like you're fit. And when you meet when you feel like that, that is good. That is nice. Wow, there's loads of birds outside. Look, absolutely loads of birds fluttering around. Wow. So it's like the day of the birds. Now they've gone. But it's you know, there's nothing wrong in being, just be yourself, just be friendly, be yourself and be friendly. And if you're friendly and you don't fit in with that group, well, that's fine, because there is another group out there for you. I always say you'll find your tribe. You'll find your tribe. And many years ago, when I came into this community, I found a really good tribe. And that tribe, we have still friends and still meet up. We don't meet up all the time because we live all over the place. But we meet up as much as we can. And then we've met new people and they come into that same tribe. They get to know the people that you know, and they get to then find their tribe. So you might draw people into your tribe who then like say hello and meet other people throughout this tribe, and then go on that way in their, you know, as they're in their journey, in their reborning journey. So just don't put pressure on yourself. But just be friendly. Just you can always, none of us mind being asked about our babies. None of us mind. Like I videoed, I think last time in June, I asked somebody if I could video her pram for YouTube. And I believe that was like a designer pram. Can't remember what it was now, but I videoed her pram. I think I put it on a short, as well as in the walk the floor. But she had a designer pram. So I asked her, and she was really nice about it. She was like, yeah. And if she said no, I would not have filmed her. The other thing about filming, I don't think I spoke about that. Filming. That involved me filming. The thing was, try not to film faces and ask permission to film. And the people who said try not to film faces, that's why I have a lot of down on the floor and then up, because I do try not to get faces in. I ask, even though I've still been doing it for 10 years, I do ask every vendor still if I can video their stall. Or if they're talking, like Ella Mack was talking for a long time at one of the shows, and I couldn't get to her. I videoed her stall because she was to the side talking. So I videoed her stall. And then I went back to her later and said, I'm not sure if you saw me, I videoed your store. Are you happy for me to use that footage for my YouTube channel? If not, that's fine, I'll just delete it. She was like, no, that's fine. Because I would hate if somebody sent my video to her, or she'd watched my video and seen that I'd videoed without permission. So I always do ask permission even now. And I try not to go in the room and video. I would love to be able to go in the room and go, look, this is this room one. Sometimes I do it, but I try and keep it to the ceiling and above the heads. But when you go to the massive room at Peterborough, you really want to show people how big that room is, and it's full of stalls. But you've got to be very careful you don't get faces in. And I always try. And so if you've sometimes watched my walk the floor and it's blurred, there's a bit of blurring out, and that's because I've caught a person, like, well, I've been trying to get a reborn in it. The vendor's been stood directly behind, and I've caught the vendor's face, and so I think I did that in the June one, and then I got the pixelating edit thing out, and I pixelated that. So I do try not to. But like I said about conversation, so when I'm videoing, I'm also picking up audio. So, and there are lots more people who video, not just me. So just be aware that when you're talking and you're talking to somebody, that you don't mind, somebody else could be listening to your conversation, let alone me, let alone over videoing it. I don't video the conversation, I'm videoing the babies. I'm not videoing anybody else. All I'm interested in is showing my viewers and myself, because I like to watch my videos later on and go, oh no, I should have bought that baby. Oh no, I should have bought that one. I do that. And sometimes it's just nice when you're having a down day, it's just watch a video of the show. So you do just be mindful. Just be mindful. Especially if you like see me, oh God, here comes Cat. People say to me, you videoing? I'm like, yeah, but don't worry, I'll switch it off. And then I talk to the person. Or someone will say, yeah, I don't mind. So I think when Sarah took me to Bristol, I think in the car park, I think you heard me on the video say, you all right if I put you on camera? And Sarah said yes, and I videoed. If Sarah said no, I wouldn't have videoed her at all. So I do ask, and I really am thankful to all of the vendors who let me video so that I can bring the video to all of the people all over the place. And I know that I've brought, people have watched and then have like screenshotted pictures of babies and been like, did this one sell? Does anybody know who this baby belongs to? It was harder at the Bristol one, because normally what I do is I like to get people's card and then video the store. But at the Bristol one, a few of the stalls, they'd run out of cards or didn't have cards and didn't have any contact information. So it was harder then. But if you're a member of the Doll Show on Facebook, then you will be able to go on there, screenshot one of my things, screenshot a still from my video and ask, did this baby sell? I think quite a few people did that actually. And I know that Amy, for me videoing Frankie and Frankie's journey, Amy has got some work from people. God, my eyebrows are so far apart. God, why did I overpluck? Random thought there, Caroline. That's another thing, I'm a randomer. Anyway, yeah, so there we go. I'm so excited for the Peterborough Doll Show. I've got VIP this time, so I've got VIP because Sheena's not going. I've got VIP, so I'm going to go in and have a good old look around first. I'm going to video my VIP bag as well, so you'll be able to see. I haven't done VIP for a long time, so we get a goodie bag. So I'll video that, and I videoed that separate before. And then I'm going to have a look around because it's so busy. And when I'm filming and I want to talk to people, I want to hug your babies, I want to say hello, and I want to film, it takes a lot because it's just one day. So Russ is dropping me off early and then picking me up right at the end. I'm staying till the end, even if I am dead on my feet. But which I will be, that's for sure. take a few days recovery off of that. Yeah. So anyway, if you've got any more questions, put them down in the comments section, and somebody will answer them, or we can talk about them in another video. I don't know what I have planned for this week. I don't have any plans for this week, but what I will do is go back in and have a look at some of the requests and see what we can do. I will be getting packed up for Timothy, because Timothy's coming on holiday, and going to Auntie, meet up with Auntie, and at the doll show, and he'll be going home with Amy. So yeah, I've got to get Timothy packing and things done. I don't know what I've got. Oh, hopefully I'm having a meetup. That's it this week. Hopefully I'm having a meetup with Auntie Hannah. And Hannah was at Bristol. Hannah is in a wheelchair. You will have seen her in my videos before. Hannah is one of those members of the tribe. Is one of our tribe members who we met many years ago. So I'm hoping to meet up with her. Because of having fibro and that, it's really hard, because I can, like, usually, because every Tuesday morning I have appointments, which is fine unless the therapy is not been a good session, and then I don't want to talk to anybody for the rest of the day. And Wednesday is usually recovery. If any of you have ever been in heavy therapy, then you know that it is hard sometimes, harder than others. And my therapy is quite hard. And so hopefully I'm going to meet up with a lovely friend on Wednesday. I really hope so. But there are so many other friends that I want to meet up with, you know, and it's just like, oh my goodness. I'm going to go and see Sam and Ben in a few weeks' time. So Sam I met as well over 10 years ago. Same time I met Hannah. I really want to go and see Auntie Alison as well before the end of October, maybe the beginning of November. Alison. I also met Alison at the same time. So these are the people I've met at the same time. Since then, I've met Sarah, Roz, Tracy, Sharon. Sheena I met back then as well, but through Facebook. So yeah. So see, my tribe is small, but I know a lot of people. And it doesn't matter if your tribe is small. You can still know a lot of people. Just means you just may be a little bit more cautious about who you let into your world. And then I have lots and lots of YouTube friends. Mwah! Lots and lots of YouTube members. And then somebody like Dee. I've never met Dee. Dee lives in Ireland. I would love to meet you, Dee, one day. And we need to make that happen, because my middle daughter lives near Derry, works in Derry. So we need to make that happen. I need to come and visit you, because I know you're too poorly to do anything. I need to come and visit you. So we need to make that happen. And then there are people in America, people in Canada, like Anne, I'm never going to meet. But I just consider you a really good friend, Anne. And Carla, in America, in America. I need to meet you as well. And there's so many of you. You're just all so lovely. I just wish I could, like, teleport, you know, like Star Trek. Show me age now, like Star Trek, teleport. Anyway, we are going to say thank you very much for watching. We're going to try and get this video up for tonight. And we're going to get this little boy settled in the pram, aren't we? Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.